Hey guys, so today I'm doing a first impression on the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation. This has recently been released here in Australia and I bought mine at Woolworths because they have 50% off. I do know that Terry White chemists have 50% off Maybelline at the moment too, so maybe go check them out, and I hope it's still going by the time I put this video up. It says a first foundation that fits tone and texture. A tone and texture fitting foundation for the ultimate natural fit. Micro-refined blotting powders absorb oil for a matte finish. Blurring micro powders erase pores for a poreless airbrushed look. And it says, apply evenly to face and blend with fingers or sponge. So I was going to use a brush, but I might use a sponge, seeing that's what they recommend. I can't even get it out of the thing. I got the shade 115. I have tried the original Fit Me formula, but I haven't used it personally. No, I think I'm going to apply it with a brush. And first I'm going to apply a primer on half of my face. So I'm going to apply my NYX Pore Filler Primer on the right half of my face, which for you guys will be the left half. And I want to see how it applies on just clean skin and then on my skin that has a primer, especially considering this is quite a silicone primer. So like I said, I got the colour 115 and I'm just going to apply this with a brush and we're going to hope that it matches. So once again, it still does not have a pump, it just has a twisty lid. I know lots of people aren't a fan of twisty lids because this happens and you get way too much product. So I'm going to do half of my face first. I don't actually know how much of this I'm going to need, so I'm just going to dab it. I'm going to apply a bit down my neck too, and then I'm going to take my brush now remember, this is the side that I applied the primer to. So that amount I had on my forehead was enough to do my whole forehead. The colour is a little bit off, but it's not too bad. I could probably go down to say like 110, but it's not too bad. I feel like it molds with my skin better on the side without primer. I feel like the side with primer, it kind of sits on top of my skin a little bit more, and I feel like this side without primer, it's melding in much more and like becoming one with my skin. I think the side without primer has more coverage, with primer, sorry. I think the side with primer has more coverage, but I'm not sure if that's just because it's kind of like sitting on top of the skin more or what, but alright. So I'm quite impressed with the coverage of this. It is a rather natural coverage. I wouldn't say it's super full coverage. I would definitely say it's light to medium coverage. The colour is a little bit off, but it's actually not too bad. I was worried that being 115 it was going to be too pink, but it's actually quite good for my winter skin. I would say that it's sitting on the skin and looking quite cakey and powdery. I'm not sure if that's from the way that I applied it or the amount of product I used. I'm just going to go dampen my beauty blender and then I'm going to bounce this all over my face. So I now have a damp beauty blender that's relatively dry. I'm just going to pat this over the top. I don't see, usually I would apply a powder to my face, but I'm a little unsure whether with this foundation I want to, because it is so like matte and kind of cakey already. So I don't feel that patting my damp beauty blender over it is doing anything. I don't know if it's because it's already set or what. I don't necessarily think it looks worse close up on the prime side compared to the unprime side. But I'm going to go ahead with the rest of my makeup, see how it applies, see how it looks after it's melded with my skin a little bit more, and I'll come back and let you guys know my first thoughts. Hey guys, so I'm back and I've finished the rest of my makeup, and the foundation now is looking better than what it was. I feel like it's settled into my skin a little bit more. It's not tacky. I didn't set it with a powder. I only set my under eye area and my like where I put the concealer on the center of my face just to lighten up my face. But I didn't set the foundation because I just felt like it already had a powdery enough feel without me needing to set it. But I feel like it's looking a lot better now than what it was. So I'll come back to you guys in a few hours and let you know how it's going. It is now 11:43. So it's almost 12 o'clock. So I'll come back in a couple of hours, let you know how it's going, and then I'll be back at the end of the day. Hey guys, so it's halfway through the day and I'm just doing a check-in. I'm sorry if this quality isn't 100%. I'm filming this on my phone because I'm actually out at the moment. So the foundation isn't looking too bad. I feel like it's worn off a little bit here. And in the daylight, it's not a 100% match. It is a little bit off, but I did try and like bronze up my neck to help with that. The only thing that I'm finding so far is that like right here, where I get like my frown lines, and right here on my nose for some reason, it's really settled in to any lines. Like around my eyes, it's making me look super duper sleepy and super duper caked up, which I'm not really a fan of, and I feel like it's accentuating every little bump on my skin. So far, it's like, I mean, it's an okay foundation. It's a good medium coverage foundation if you have perfect skin, but I definitely don't, especially at the moment. So I feel that I need something that's a little bit more flawless and that doesn't look so cakey and accentuate all the bad aspects of my skin, which I feel like this foundation does. So I'll check in with you guys at the end of the day once I'm back at my vanity before I wash it off to give you guys my final thoughts on the foundation and how it wore for the rest of the day. The one thing I can say is I'm not oily and it hasn't worn off too much except for like down here. So I'm quite impressed with that. So I'll check in with you guys again later. Hey guys, so it is the next day and obviously I didn't film a closing to my first impression video because I'm filming it now, and this happened last night. So I'm just sitting here in my pajamas and I didn't film a finishing up because I scratched off half of my nose. Kind of funny story, Vince and I went out to walk the dog, who is just here. Isn't she so cute? So we took her out for a walk, and then I was in my wheelchair and I was holding Bella's leash, and then Vince was pushing me in my wheelchair and he turned and Bella ran the other way, and then I like fell out of my wheelchair and smashed my nose on the ground, and it was just an accident, like it was nobody's fault. But obviously it was so painful being right here on the bridge of my nose. Even now it is so painful. And so we just came home and tried to clean it off because obviously it was on pavement, so I was worried about like dirt and infection and stuff. So we just came home, cleaned it off. I was crying because it hurt so much and I had black all down my face, and then I was like, half my foundation's gone, and so there wasn't really much point in filming a close to this first impression, so I'm doing it now instead. Obviously I don't have the foundation on anymore, but I just wanted to give you guys my final thoughts once I'd composed myself after destroying my face. So I just moved so that light wasn't glaring in the background. I found the foundation wore really well throughout the day. It stayed on my face really well. Even after I'd been crying, there was still obvious remnants of the foundation. My blush and contour still looked in place. It still held up really well on my face, and even by the end of the day, at like 10 o'clock at night, when I took what was left of my foundation off, I wasn't oily and I wasn't shiny, which I thought was really impressive. So overall, I do really like this foundation. I think I need to play around with the ways to apply it and the ways it's going to look best. I think it'll work really well for me in the summer when I am really oily and really shiny, because I feel now in the winter while my skin's like a little bit dry that it's just not the right foundation. I feel it went a bit cakey and I feel like it clung to any dryness on my face. So if you do have dry skin, I'm not sure that I would recommend this foundation for you. But while they have half price, which I just saw on Priceline's Instagram, that Priceline are about to do half price off Maybelline. So if you're interested in this foundation, I would recommend it, especially now that we're coming into spring and summer here in Australia. So definitely go check it out. I hope you guys like this video. Give it a thumbs up. I'm sorry it's not the ending that a video would usually have, but you know, life gets in the way sometimes, or my neighbour's driveway, whichever way you want to think of it. And so subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video, hopefully with a better looking nose. Bye.